There are moments in every family when someone reaches out, hoping distance can finally begin to close. Sometimes it is a phone call, sometimes a letter, sometimes simply a message sent at the right time during a difficult season. When illness or uncertainty reminds everyone how fragile time can be. Reports now suggest that Prince Harry made such an effort during King Charles's recent health struggles. It was described as an attempt to reconnect not only with his father, but perhaps, in some quiet way, with the wider family he once stood beside every day. For many watching from afar, it seemed like a natural step. When serious illness enters a family, old disagreements can suddenly feel smaller. Long-held pride can soften. Silence can become harder to justify. Even the most complicated relationships may find room for a simple question. How are you? And so, the idea of reconciliation carried a certain hope, not because it promised instant healing, not because years of hurt could disappear overnight, but because it suggested movement. A first step, a sign that behind titles, headlines, and public appearances, there were still private bonds worth trying to repair. Yet the story, according to reports, did not unfold so simply. Rather than opening a clear path forward, Harry's gesture appears to have met continued distance, and in some corners, it may even have stirred new frustrations inside a family already shaped by years of strain. That is what makes this moment more than another royal headline. Because at its heart, this is not only about princes, palaces, or protocol. It is about something far more familiar. A son trying to reconnect with his father during illness. Brothers whose silence has lasted longer than many expected. Relatives carrying different versions of the same painful history. And the quiet reality that sometimes reaching out is only the beginning. The harder part is what comes next. Families often imagine reconciliation as a single moment, the meeting, a handshake, a heartfelt conversation. But in truth, healing is rarely so neat. It can be slow, uneven, marked by hesitation. One person may be ready while another is not. There may be apologies still unsaid, trust still unsettled, memories still too close to touch. For Prince Harry, every personal gesture also exists under public scrutiny. That alone changes everything. A private message in most families remains private, but within the royal family, even whispers become headlines. Motives are questioned. Timing is analyzed. Every silence becomes its own statement. That kind of pressure can turn even sincere attempts into complicated events. And then there is the bond between brothers. Prince Harry and Prince William once appeared inseparable in the public imagination. Two young men shaped by extraordinary privilege, but also by extraordinary loss. Together, they walked behind their mother's coffin in one of the most painful public moments of modern royal history. To understand why this reported outreach carries such weight, it helps to look at the years that came before it. In 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan chose to step back from official royal duties and begin a new chapter abroad. What followed was not only a geographic move, but a major shift in family dynamics. They built an independent public life, speaking more openly about personal struggles, media pressure, and their reasons for leaving royal roles. Since then, relations with the royal household have often appeared tense. Public appearances became less frequent. Shared moments seem carefully managed. And behind many headlines, the same themes continue to surface: trust, privacy, and very different expectations about family responsibility. For Prince William and Princess Kate, life moved deeper into future leadership. For Harry and Meghan, life moved toward independence and a new identity outside palace walls. Those two paths, though connected by family, have often seemed far apart. King Charles's recent health struggles added a more personal layer to that distance. Illness can remind families what truly matters. It can create space for compassion and reflection, but it can also bring old emotions back to the surface, especially when important conversations have remained unfinished. Latest tension reportedly centers around Prince Harry and Meghan's recent visit to Australia, the trip that, on the surface, appeared focused on charity work, community appearances, and public engagement. According to reports, Harry and Meghan's team informed Buckingham Palace in advance about the planned visit and its schedule. The intention was said to be simple: to avoid misunderstandings, prevent clashes with official royal events, and ensure transparency around a trip likely to attract media attention. In theory, that kind of notice might have reduced friction, but reports now suggest the reaction inside palace circles was more complicated. Rather than remaining a modest overseas appearance, the visit drew significant attention. Crowds reportedly turned out in strong numbers, and media coverage followed closely throughout the trip. What some insiders may have expected to be a relatively quiet tour instead became a highly visible public moment. The couple's schedule also added to that visibility. Meghan made a headline-grabbing appearance as a guest judge on MasterChef Australia, placing her in a mainstream entertainment setting that reached audiences beyond royal coverage. Harry, meanwhile, took part in more reflective engagements, including honoring a war memorial in Canberra, a gesture tied to remembrance and service, themes long associated with his public life. Together, those appearances created a balanced image: celebrity attention on one side, charitable and ceremonial purpose on the other. Behind the headlines, schedules, and public appearances, this story is ultimately about human emotion. For Prince Harry, the warm reception in Australia may have felt deeply meaningful. After years of criticism, controversy, and public scrutiny, being welcomed by crowds and embraced through charitable work could feel like a form of validation, a reminder that many people still connect with the causes he supports and the role he once held. For Prince William and Princess Kate, reports suggest a different emotional response. If frustration or disappointment was felt, it may reflect more than a single trip. It may come from years of tension, shifting family roles, and the pressure of carrying responsibilities. While private relationships remain unsettled, that is often how family conflict works. A single event can stir emotions built over many years. Between the two brothers, history likely adds weight to every development. Shared childhood experiences, public expectations, and personal memories do not disappear, simply because lives move in different directions. When trust has been damaged, even success on one side can be felt painfully on the other. And over all of this sits a more serious reality: King Charles's illness. Moments of illness often bring sadness, reflection, and urgency. They remind families that time is limited, and that unresolved relationships do not wait forever. What once felt easier to postpone can suddenly feel heavy. The public often sees ceremony, titles, and royal image, but beneath those layers are emotions familiar to many families. Everywhere what this moment seems to reveal is something many families understand. Public success and private healing are not the same thing. A person can be applauded by crowds, praised in headlines, and welcomed warmly in public, while still feeling distant from those who matter most at home. Recognition may bring confidence, but it does not automatically rebuild trust. It cannot replace difficult conversations, accountability, or time. In some cases, success can even deepen existing tension. When relationships are already fragile, one person's achievements may be interpreted through old wounds. What looks like celebration from the outside can feel like competition, rejection, or unresolved hurt from within. That does not mean success is wrong. It simply means pain often changes how events are received. Many families living through separation know this balance well. There is often a desire for peace, but also a need to protect boundaries. People may miss one another deeply, while still feeling cautious about returning to patterns that once caused harm. Love and distance can exist at the same time. Royal life magnifies all of this. In most families, disagreements happen quietly. In this family, every gesture is watched around the world. A visit becomes a message. Silence becomes a statement. Even ordinary decisions can be turned into symbols larger than the people involved. In the end, Prince Harry's reported olive branch may matter for one simple reason. It suggests the desire for connection has not fully disappeared. Even after years of distance, difficult headlines, and separate lives, the instinct to reach toward family may still remain. That alone says something powerful. It reminds us that broken relationships are not always empty of love. Sometimes they are full of love, but burdened by pain. At the same time, the reported reaction suggests old wounds have not yet healed. Public appearances may continue. Crowds may gather. Duties will be carried out, and new chapters will keep unfolding. But private healing moves at a different pace. It asks for honesty, patience, and conversations that cannot be managed through schedules or statements. Illness, distance, and shared history often force families to confront what truly matters. They bring urgency to feelings once postponed. They ask whether pride is worth the silence, and whether time is more limited than people assume. Yet the most important moments may never be seen publicly. Sometimes the hardest conversations happen behind closed doors. Sometimes forgiveness begins quietly. Sometimes it never comes at all. And sometimes, even without resolution, the longing for peace remains. Perhaps that is where this story truly lives, not in ceremony or conflict, but in the deeply human hope that one day, somehow, a family still searching might find its way back.